dead. There's no doubt about it. We have been live on X for the last 15 minutes or so, but now we're live on YouTube as well, and we're getting ready to start this show, but we still got some time here because Moxley's still fighting Copeland. Referee got waffled. It's been a crazy night. An absolutely crazy night in AEW tonight. And now Moxley's got a chair. I'm probably behind people, but we're live on X. We've been live on X for a bit here, if you've been over on X hanging out. But now we're live on YouTube. So, guys, if you can, hit that like button, baby. And stick the thumb all the way up Daddy's bunghole. Stick it all the way up the bungus if you can, guys. Thank you very much. We're live. We got a lot to do here. Moxley with the chair. Oh, Copeland kicked it right back into his face. You can tell that Copeland's got nothing left, Joe. He's so past his prime. Moxley's in his prime. He absorbed that chair shot. Copeland, and reversed by Moxley. Reversed by Copeland. Missed a lariat. Off the rope, double clothesline. Both men down to the canvas. No referee. And nobody on their feet. Moxley trying to roll into a cover maybe, but there's no ref anyway. And now something's happening. It's Wheeler Yuta. Looks like he looks like an Antifa member, to be honest. Let's be honest. Looks like he's in Antifa, whatever that means. Here he comes. Wheeler Yuta, what the hell is he doing out here? Well, it's obvious that he's looking for money because he looks homeless. Both Copeland and Moxley trying to make their way to their feet. Wheeler Yuta sizing it up. Oh, by Psycho Knee to Copeland. What the hell is the need for this? What the hell is this for? All right, guys. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? We're going to start in just a few minutes. We're having a good time. We're live on X, live on YouTube. And people are getting weird. Let's be honest. Something else is happening here. This is going to be a nutcase ending, it looks like. People are going to be nutting everywhere. It's going to be a dynamite ending right now. Oh, my God. Jay White accidentally hits Moxley in the face with that, I don't know, plastic briefcase. That thing looks like shit. Get a better briefcase, guys. Get a better briefcase. They gotta get him a better briefcase. That thing looks like piss. Moxley, look at this. He's gonna 69 Copeland. 1, and the Reamsberg can't count. 2. He's got the Earl Hebner count going on. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. What a night. What a long night. Boy, this took a lot of time out of my life watching this show tonight. I'll tell you, man. At least it was good because, boy, was it long. The plastic makes a louder sound. Yeah, it does. It was good. It's fine. It's just, wow. They got to get this belt off of Moxley. 1, 2. No. Oh, my God. Come on, commentary. Don't fall asleep, guys. Don't fall asleep, commentary. What the fuck? I know you've called 700 triple Lutz sow cows off cages and hammers to dicks and heads and knives and eyes and balls and everything. But you know what, guys? This is for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and Adam Copeland has risen to his feet, and quite honestly, he's feeding off the damn fans right now. You can feel the energy running through this building for Copeland. Spear again on Moxley. for the second time. How desperate is Copeland? How desperate is the Rated R superstar to become the champion for the first time? Oh, yeah, a third one. A third one right to the damn heart of Moxley. 1, 2, and what the hell? What the hell, Christian? That son of a bitch just pulled the damn referee. Oh, and he cracked Copeland over the head with that contract. And he's signing the contract. Is he cashing this in now? This is unbelievable, Joe. He's cashed in. He's signed up. It's a triple threat. It's a three-way. Copeland speared by Christian. What the hell? 1, 2. No, he kicked out. Damn it. Copeland's soul is unbelievable. Christian turning Copeland. I don't know. That was crazy. Moxley, oh my God, out of nowhere, guys. Come on, commentary. Wake up, commentary. Wake up, commentary. Christian was trying to pin Copeland at the same time that Moxley is trying to choke him out. I haven't seen that before. That was crazy. How about that? Wow. That was fucking stupid. What a stupid as fuck ending. Wow. Wow. That is awful. You wasted the cash in on nothing, and Moxley, who's a dead champion, continues to be that champion. Oh my God. Wow. That is fucking terrible. This was actually about to... I'll tell you what, if Christian had won, that would have been amazing. That would have been so good if Christian won. What a fuck up. That is a fuck up. That was stupid. What a stupid ending. Wow. That was going to be a great ending, I thought, and then it just went completely stupid. I'm shocked at how dumb that went. I thought Christian was going to win. If Christian had won, that would have been brilliant. That would have been I would have said this show tonight, I might have given this show a 9 out of 10 if Christian won, because I would have not seen that coming, and what a brilliant thing to do. That was really stupid. A guy who's a dead champion that nobody cares about, that is boring and has been terrible, just keeps the fucking thing? Are you serious? Wow. That was bad. That was real bad. They really screwed that up. I'm sorry. That was really a bad idea. It was looking so good. I mean, if Copeland had won... If Cope had won, if Christian had won, that would have been interesting. But boy, I'll tell you, that was really dead zone. That was dead zone. Wow. Oh my God, Swerve's on the top of the barricade. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I'll tell you that. But wow, Moxley is just deadzo champ. What a night, though. Just because that ending was really stupid. I thought it was gonna be awesome. I thought if Christian won, bro, I would have died laughing. That would have been so great if Christian won. What a missed opportunity, I feel like. But they got Swerve pumped up here. That was pretty cool. The Swerve thing was cool. Thank God they did that because Moxley just walking out with it was stupid. Man, I'll tell you, this show was wild tonight. What do we talk about? Where do we start with this tonight? This show was unbelievably insane. I mean, like, guys, let me tell you something. If you watched Monday Night Raw, if you watched Raw and you watched all the other shows, but you didn't watch this, how could you not? How could you possibly do that? Can you imagine somebody, man? All right, well, we're live, baby. We're live, AEW Revolution tonight. Lots of blood. Lots of crazy. They were really close to having an epic finish tonight. They didn't stick the landing fully. I mean, Christian cashing in was really cool, but he should have won if you know. But whatever. We are live on X. We're live on YouTube. We're live all over the place. So, thank you for joining us. Oh my goodness. Everybody, simultaneously, if you can right now, click the like button. I gave 6 hours of my day, my life to this fucking show tonight. I mean, I could have been hanging out with my kids, but we spent 6, 7, 8, whatever, 7 hours watching this show tonight. And you know what? I was concerned that it might not be worth it, but I'll tell you what a damn show. What a damn show tonight. AEW did a damn good job overall. Like, consistently, actually. Like, I wasn't right about quite everything. I got a lot of stuff right, which is great, but it was a very interesting night, man. There was, Ospreay's match, you could argue that maybe went on too long, but it was nuts. So, what are you going to be mad about that? Crazy stuff tonight. The crowd was hot. They started dying towards the end, very end, obviously. Obviously, that, like, the amount of adrenaline pumping through that crowd had to be nuts tonight. Oh, my God. Just an incredible night. Man, Meltzer is going to have a cream bath. Like, Meltzer's going to cream his pants. Oh man, what a show. Man, I can't believe that. All right, so let's get into it because I got to pull up the card to have it all the right way. It was wild. I got to stay on track tonight because this was something crazy. Now, I didn't watch a ton of the pre-show. I was kind of like in and out on the pre-show. So if anybody has stuff that they want to say about the pre-show, feel free to let me know. I didn't see all of it. I saw some of it. I was in and out on it. And it was pretty good, but it's just like I didn't fully watch it. So I don't want to say some things are bad or good or whatever. I thought it was kind of a fun, opening show. Opening, pre-show, whatever you want to call it. So I thought they did a pretty good job on the pre-show. Oh my God, what a night, bro. Tony Storm, I know that, like, technically, like, Ospreay's match and all that stuff, they went, like, bonkers and even crazier in a way. but it didn't have the story that the Tony Storm one did. So it's like, it felt like it was like they did more crazy things, but like I kept thinking, yeah, you're still not going to total the emotion of the women. You know, you could have ripped the cage off, stabbed the other guy with the cage, and then, you know, dropped out of a hot air balloon, and I still might have liked the Tony Storm thing better. But they did go crazy. And just unbelievable. Moxley's a dead champion, and he keeps the belt. I just can't believe that. That's the only thing. Like, I pretty much, I'm in agreement with every match. Almost everything. I'm in agreement with everything, pretty much, that happened from the first match, from MJF and Hangman, all the way up until Christian signed the contract to join the match. Up until that, I was in full agreement almost with everything. I mean, you could argue a little bit about too many kickouts and some blood and whatever. I was in full agreement with the show. I don't think I wanted to change anything, really. I was enjoying it. But after the contract got signed is when things changed to me a little bit. I went, oh, because Moxley is just a dead champ. Get that fucking belt off of him. They've obviously got plans with Swerve, and maybe Swerve is going to take it off him, and then I don't know. I don't understand bringing Swerve back into it and Adam Copeland not winning. I think they needed to get this belt on Copeland tonight. Obviously, they want to go for some trio or 3-match series with these guys. There's going to be more coming up. But I would have preferred it just be over now because the title's been kind of dead where it is. Like, it's been a dead title. So I think they really should have fixed that tonight. And especially... Come on out, you rapist! But if Christian had won, that would have been great. I would have laughed my ass off. That would have been interesting. Christian finally wins. He cashed in that shit. Like, the guy's been a piece of shit for years. It's great. But now he lost it. Now he doesn't even have the contract to sign anymore. So that's gone. I mean, I'm just a little bit surprised that that's the route they went after all of that. You know? But such a great night up until after the contract was signed. I don't agree with that. But, man, I'll tell you, tonight was amazing. I don't think I would like anything more than the Tony Storm match, though. There was so much into that. Maybe I was the most invested in that. And because I was the most invested in that, I gave it the most credit. So the more that match did, the more the fans responded to that match, the more credit I gave it because it was already at extra points for me. There's nothing you can do to change that. Unfortunately, to all the other matches and to the men and Ospreay and everything, you're not going to be able to catch up to that emotion and to that buying in that I had for the women. Just on a different level, quite honestly. So, it is what it is. But, I mean, good for them. Super chat party.
Sounds like you had a tough night, Joe.
No, I mean, I'm having a tough life right now, but I didn't have a tough night. I thought I had a pretty good night. I was watching this AEW show. It was great. Absolutely not. This was a good night. I mean, watching the wrestling show was good because this was good. I mean, this was such a great show. It was long, right? So many matches, but oh my goodness, it's Retro Neon. What's up, Retro? How you doing, brother? What did you guys think? Give me in the chat, guys. Give me your rating in the chat right now for AEW tonight. I'm going to put a poll up in a second. Hit that like button if you can, too. Retro Neon's here. Unbelievable tonight. We're live on the Joe Cronin Show on YouTube. Glad you're here.
And this is why AEW keeps failing. This company has no direction, no storytelling, no nothing. Tony just needs to hire someone to write these shows.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't think tonight's the night to say that. I mean, it was so good tonight. I agree that ending might have pissed a lot of people off. It pissed me off. I got emotionally angry that they just gave the thing back to Moxley. That was stupid. I think I really would have loved to see Copeland win it or Christian stealing it would have been great too. But because I just don't. Moxley is a dead champion. He is a absolute dead champ. I didn't even know he had the belt because I keep forgetting. because he keeps it in that briefcase, number one. And number two, he's just nothing. So I am shocked that they kept the belt on him. I really am, because he's been a dead champion. So that's about it. I pretty much don't disagree with just about anything that happened tonight. I had fun watching everything. I loved the show. This show was awesome. Make no mistake about it. This show was fucking awesome tonight. I'm sorry. I was giving shit ratings Edge and Moxley wasn't very good as far as a match goes. It was slow paced, methodical. You know how those guys are. But with the Christian signing up to almost cash in and some of that stuff going on at the end, I might give it a 6.5 out of 10. And maybe higher because of that. But it was good drama at the end, which is good. And you just weren't used to it because all night was fast-paced video game, blockbuster move after blockbuster move, blood everywhere. It was crazy. The MJF match went as I thought it was going to with Hangman Page. Ricochet, they didn't quite do what I wanted. I thought Prince Nana was going to turn heel and cost Swerve the match. And then he did tease that, but it didn't happen. And then in the end, he was back with Swerve, and he got the jacket back or whatever. They actually made me care about it tonight for some reason. Like some of that stuff, I didn't give a shit before this. But tonight, I finally kind of like the jacket thing. They made it connect finally. And granted, it would have been better if I connected earlier, but that might just be me personally, not what they did. But they made me care about a fucking coat tonight or whatever. So that was kind of cool. So for all these reasons, I just think that they really, really succeeded tonight. This has been one of the best pay-per-views, AEW shows in a long time. Definitely if you watch SmackDown and Raw and Dynamite this week or NXT, I cannot fathom it if somebody didn't watch this tonight. If you did not watch this pay-per-view tonight, but you watched all that other shit for the last couple of weeks, you're crazy. Like, you're a crazy person if you missed this, but you watch all that other stuff, because this was wild tonight. This was really good. AEW may be a 5 or 6 out of 10 weekly recently, but this show tonight was stellar. I can't believe anybody would give this below a 7 out of 10. I really can't believe that. I don't think I could take you seriously. I would give this a 7 out of 10. I don't think we needed all the blood we got. There was so much blood. I don't care. What I really don't think is we need people licking their blood all the time. That's fucking bizarre. Everybody is licking other guys' blood all the time. That's a little weird. I just think that's overplayed and stupid. Did you see the last match do it, guys? Great. You're licking people's blood. But, where do you go from here when people are bleeding everywhere and there's people licking blood and sucking blood? And, and getting thumbtacks in the dick and the balls. And then another woman is getting stabbed in the pussy with a glass bottle. This was some shit that, this went into some ECW tonight in a lot of ways. There was a lot of shit going on. I'm going to give you my rating. I've got ratings for everything. And we'll talk about it. But how about this?
One thing I learned about pro wrestlers. Y'all know you're gonna win before anybody else does. So thank you for teaching me that.
Oh boy. They probably shouldn't have put those ladies on at the end. The crowd was dead, so to promote the movie at that time I thought was a mistake. They should have promoted the movie in the first match or second match when the crowd's still lively and they're like, oh yeah, let's go see that movie. But by the time they were trying to promote the movie with these girls and looking for an interaction with the crowd, it's like, dude, the crowd's dead. They just saw 70 million wrestling moves in the last 4 hours. They don't know what the fuck is going on. And then this lady basically is like, let me just tell you, let's just break kayfabe right now. It was just so weird. I think that's an out of context comment that she's making. It has something to do with the movie and her talking about being a wrestler in the context of the movie somehow. But saying it out loud during a wrestling show is so weird, and that just came off bizarre. But I don't think she understands the business and understands the way that sounds. But so bless her heart, she doesn't know what she's saying. Whatever though. But we also don't know what she's saying because she's quoting something that the character in the movie says, and that the real wrestler might have said or whatever. But it's out of context when she says that because none of us have seen the movie yet. and she's saying it, and that sounds like you're saying, well, wrestling's fake, but I know I'm going to win, and that's a weird thing to just kind of say out of nowhere. They probably should have smartened her up to that comment, but because she said it earlier in the pre-show too. She said it during the pre-show before they came out there, and someone should have said, that is so awesome, and that's totally true, but you might not want to say that out loud, because these people haven't seen the movie yet. They don't know why you're saying that. It sounds like to them that you're saying wrestling's fake. Like, I don't know. But whatever. Maybe, whatever the fuck. Who cares? Who gives a shit? It's all fake.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years. Never in all that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday,
what's up, dog,
that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
Christian literally had that contract for so long just to lose it like that. That was the worst cash-in ever. Why did the show have to be so long? Stop booking so many matches. The crowd is falling asleep. What is with these main events being so bad?
Yeah, I don't think. I think one of the weakest things that happened tonight was the main event. And certainly I thought it was going to be worth it, though. When Christian was signing the contract or cashing in or whatever it is, when Christian was signing the contract to come into the match, I suddenly went, oh my God, this is going to be good now. Thank God. Because how can they compete with everything that happened earlier? The belt's on the line. I thought the commentary died too. The commentary really needed to play up. Why wasn't the commentary playing up that, Edge is trying to win? The son of a bitch, he's 48 years old or whatever, 50 years old, and this is what he's worked so damn hard to get back, the AEW championship. Like, all that sort of thing. And they really weren't going into that. They should have been talking about the title, about Copeland and his battle, and this is his last chance maybe, and his damn body's giving out, but his soul, his heart, but they didn't have any of that. It wasn't a great call on commentary. Now, I thought commentary was pretty good all night though. I really actually thought the commentary was pretty good throughout the night. But I thought in the main event tonight that they were tired, or they didn't have the heart, and that match is actually, quite honestly, that match probably needed it the most. The Adam Copeland match with Moxley needed the most drama and talk and build up verbally by the commentary, and they just didn't quite do it for me. But they were dying, and it was like, why aren't you talking about it? Why aren't you bringing it up? Like, look at how fatigued Adam Copeland looks. You wonder if he's got anything left. He's already tired. We're 5 minutes into this thing. There's no doubt, Copeland's got to fight through hell to Moxley's 10 years younger or whatever, bring up that he's younger. He's younger champion. All these things. And they didn't do that. They just sort of were calling it whatever. They were calling it the same way they would have called any match earlier in the night. But the problem is those matches early in the night were flip-flop chaos insanity, and so how could you possibly match that? So they needed to build up the story. They needed to build it up more. But anyway, I have very few complaints about this show tonight. This show was so good, so entertaining for the most part. The only problem with the show tonight, it was a little long. There was probably maybe too much gore, maybe, but I don't care about that really, but whatever. But the real problem was the way they ended the main event. Christian not winning is a fucking travesty. He should have won that match. It would have been fucking awesome. And I agree, Fallen says in the chat right now, that it will lead to a triple threat. You might be right. And listen, that is cool, and that might end up being great and everything. But I still would have liked it if Christian had won, because I would have been like, that would have solidified this night for me. If he won right there, I would have been like, this was fucking brilliant. The booking was brilliant. I think the booking was still really good with him cashing in anyway, because that made it more like, oh my God, holy shit. But the fact that he didn't win was kind of like, oh, that took a lot of the wind out of the sails. The match wasn't great. Then it got really exciting. And then in the end, Moxley just wins anyway. So whatever. So not the greatest end. But the Spanish team did a good job, says Renato. Okay, that's good. Lucha Libre. No, that's great. The Spanish commentators have been doing better in both companies for a while recently.
Come on out, you rapist!
Alex Oli became a member. Alex, thanks for becoming a member again, man. That is, how long is that? It's a while. 42 months in a row. That's over 3 years. This guy's been a member on the channel for over 3 years. Somebody else has been a member for like 5 years. That's crazy. That's like when membership started. We have over 100-something members. Thank you guys for that. Louis Ordinetta, what's up, dude? 4-way, not a triple threat.
You fucking mark!
Matthew Yelch, what's up, man? Thanks for subbing to the channel, man. Thank you guys for all hitting the sub button so you can get the daily content, the daily videos, and the daily BS from me. If you guys want to donate to the stream, the donation link is pinned to the top. If anybody goes over $10,
hey, Bullfrog is a moron.
Scissor me, Joe!
They caught me in the P. Diddy case, but this show great tonight.
Oh, boy. OBJ, what's up? Thanks for the $3. The show was great. The show was great tonight. I gotta agree. This was a good show. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna give it, but I do have grades for every match, pretty much. So I'll go over those in just a minute. I'm gonna put a poll up in the chat. If you guys want to donate, go for it.
You fucking mark!
I'll play the donations. Jim VC2 squared, whatever that means. Thank you for subbing. What's up, dude? If you want to donate, the Streamlabs is pinned to the top of the chat. Use Streamlabs if you can. That's the best way to do it. But I'll take Super Chats, too. That's wicked awesome. Thank you guys for helping support me. Appreciate it.
Party.
Julio Guzman.
A lot of wedgies tonight.
Lots of
Lol.
wedgies. Yeah, I almost saw balls, too. We almost saw balls tonight. We almost saw balls. The women were bleeding like crazy. It was a crazy night. Let me put up the poll right now. Blah, bad. I got a lot of different. Go ahead and vote. We'll review the vote in just a few minutes, but shit bum. Man, there was so much blood tonight.
I love women's matches. It's stiffy time.
Oh my God, Irvin Stalker's wrestling stuff. Thank you for the super chat. What's up, Irvin? Yeah, you know, I don't think anything will top the women for me because of the story. Because of the story and the way they did it, nothing tops the women for me. I didn't think any match was better than the women because of that. You know, there may be people that, you know, Ospreay was the best match or this was the best match, but
chat party.
I can't do it. The women got me.
The ending killed me. Joe got a quart of vodka. Lol.
Yeah, the very ending was unfortunate because I really believe that they should have had it on Christian. They should have gone with Christian, man. That would have been so shocking and cool. And the nemesis of Copeland and, you know, Moxley is dead in the water with that belt, and now he's going to carry it around more. I cannot agree with that. I really like the booking of Christian signing the contract and cashing in at the end, but I just can't get on board with Moxley holding on to this thing. I was 100% not just convinced, but like pleading that he lose that thing tonight. Get that fucking belt off of Moxley. Like, you've got to get this thing off the guy. It's really bad. It's dead. That's the problem. But they didn't do it. They didn't get it off him. I can't believe it. Cannot believe it. Unbelievable. We'll look at the poll in just a few minutes, but let's go to the card. I didn't watch the pre-show I did watch the pre-show, but it was wishy-washy, so I'm not going to grade that. I'm not going to go into that. You guys can tell me, you know, what you think of that. A little bit later we'll talk about it. It was all right, but I watched it off and on. I'm going to go in the order that I have the pictures, not the order of necessarily the way things happened. So it is what it is. Brody King and Okada. I thought that was a good match. I didn't grade it yet. I have a lot of things already graded, but Okada, Brody, I think I was like around a 6.5 or 7 on that one. I thought it was all right. So, it was pretty good. but I'm going to give it around a 6.5. So that, I mean, I thought it was nice. I thought it was fine. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. Maybe a 7. And then, you know, looking at MJF and Hangman, they started the night off, which was good. Great way to start the night. They did a good job. They really got to the point. They didn't overextend. This match didn't go as long. I mean, it could have gone longer. It kind of went the perfect length, sort of, for the opening match. It didn't go like too long or get too crazy. So I thought it was a really solid match. So great way to start the night. I gave this an 8 out of 10 for the story and for the way that they wrestled and for what happened. I would give it an 8 out of 10. So Moxley and, or rather MJF and Hangman Page, they did a great job. And then I thought the other match that I was very much interested in was Ricochet and Swerve. I couldn't wait for that. And I did get this one wrong, but great. But I really enjoyed the match. Very entertaining. Ricochet is doing his best work ever with a character. So now Tony Storm has created a character in AEW that works, and Ricochet has created a character in AEW that works. And this is after we made a lot of jokes about Ethan Page going to NXT and being something, Ricky Starks going to NXT and maybe being something, and AEW doesn't know what to do with anybody. But you know what? Tony Storm, her character, has come out in AEW as being brilliant. And that's AEW created that. Whether that's her that created it or AEW or whatever, it's created in AEW. Ricochet now is doing his best work ever as a weird heel, and he really propelled Swerve Strickland. Like, dude, Swerve Strickland got propelled by this rivalry. Ricochet looked the best he ever looked, the most interesting he ever looked, and Swerve Strickland benefited from this story. Everybody leveled up because of this. I can't say that enough. That's so good. So Ricochet, Tony Storm, two characters that are now they're like married to AEW. These are characters that were created by AEW. Thank God that's what they need to do. They did it. This match was really good. Swerve and Ricochet, I gave it an 8 out of 10 because of the story and everything else. Great job. Even Mercedes Monet's match. I thought this tag team match was the bathroom break. They went out there and did whatever. Nothing big, nothing crazy. 6.5 out of 10 for me. That was probably the weakest thing of the night. They're all right. Mercedes Moné and Momo. Fucking Momo versus Mercedes Moné. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think it's one of Mercedes' better matches. She got kicked right in the mouth at one point. That was fun to watch. Kenny Omega and Takeshita, that could have been a main event on a Dynamite. It wasn't. It was a good match, but it was drowned out by a lot of other things. But Kenny Omega's return and those guys had a really solid match as well. It was really good. So for that, I gave that a 7 out of 10. I thought they had a really good match. So good job there. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher had an all-out bloodbath insanity brawl. I mean, it was insane. And I'll tell you what, if that match had been a main event for a title, that would be probably match of the year, crazy. I don't even know. It would have been match of the year, crazy something score. If it wasn't for the women earlier, doing it already earlier and being so crazy, it was overlooked in some ways because of that. Not overlooked, but I mean just, the shadow of that match. So I got to tell you, man, there are some people that would probably give Will Ospreay a 9.5 out of 10 in that match tonight, maybe. But I still need more I need more story. I need more things like that. I can't just see, WWE 2K, it was like a video game match, which was awesome. But so I would give Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher an 8.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, and it was really, really good. I had a blast with that one, and I just, this was a wild night of wrestling. Dave Meltzer's dick is going to explode. And obviously, I'm giving it the star of the night. I don't care what anybody says. I know that Ospreay match was nuts. I know that some other stuff was really good, but I've got to give it the best. I've got to give it the best match of the night because it didn't go too long, didn't go over its time, didn't have 1.5 million false finishes. It was a hardcore match with a story, with two women. There was just unbelievable amount of blood. So for that reason, I'm giving this match the match of the night. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, and I'm giving it the match of the night. This is the match of the night, 100%. Nothing could top this in my mind. I couldn't stop thinking about this regardless of what everybody else did. I couldn't stop thinking, like, if you don't even have to put a gun to my head. If you just said, you can only tell me one match, what one match do you want to watch again? This is going to be the one. Best story, best match, best crowd reaction, all rolled into one. It's this match. 9 out of 10. Will Ospreay gets an 8.5 with Kyle Fletcher. They simply did a bunch of wild shit that was cool and crazy and whatever, but this beat it out. It really did. Despite all the athleticism and what they did. And then I thought the main event was lackluster a bit, but then Christian coming in was really cool. And then in the end, they literally let Moxley win still, was really stupid. So this match went from being a stinker, kind of like a 6 or 5 out of 10, and then Christian signed the contract, and the match instantly to me went to a 7 because of the excitement and whatever. And then Moxley just won in the end, and I thought that was bad, really bad. So I'm going to drop it and give it I'm going to be nice and give this match a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5.5 out of 10. But as a match, the Christian part made it a little bit better. If Christian did not sign that contract to come in the match and the match just ended, this match would have been a 4 or 5 out of 10, maybe a 5. I'm going to give them literally a point for the Christian idea, but then then Moxley won, so I take some points away. So I'll give it a 5.5. 5.5 out of 10. The commentary also died at that point, and they really needed the commentary to be better. And unfortunately, the commentary was not better. It got worse for them. So, that being said, when I average all this out in my brain and I start to think about what tonight was, AEW Revolution, I think that AEW Revolution tonight was probably an 8 out of 10 or an 8.5 out of 10 show. I thought it was a really good show. I knew that I can't believe that if you watched Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite and NXT, this was the best thing you saw all week. So if somebody said, like, why would you watch that, or I didn't watch that, but you watched all those other things, I just find that kind of a crazy. Why in the world would you not watch this show tonight now? How could you miss this after, everything that's happened in the wrestling world? The John Cena heel turn and the stuff going on in WWE should hopefully amplify AEW a little bit and bring them a little more viewership potentially, because when wrestling blows up in one area, it does trickle into other areas a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit. And so this can only be good for everybody, usually. We'll see.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years.
Louis Sardinetta.
Never in all that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday, that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
That means that Darby it's the one to beat Mox.
You might be right, Louis Sardinetta. It might be Darby Allin, because Christian's gone now. Jay whatever his name is, Jay White, maybe. Copeland can't beat Moxley, but it looks like Moxley and Copeland are going to get a third match, maybe. So that might happen for a third time. So I don't know. And then Darby could be the one that comes in. And
Chat party.
that'd be great for Darby.
Girls killed it.
Andrave's Gaming, thank you for the Canadian money. The girls killed it. 100% they did. They really did. They were crazy. The women went wild tonight. How could you not love what the women did? Everybody really did such a great job, but, you know, just crazy. Shit bum.
My only issue with AEW tonight was way too many matches, and they did not have an earth-shattering angle to answer Cena's heel turn with. WWE had that problem when WCW turned Hogan heel.
I don't think they needed to answer the Cena turn. I don't really know. I don't think they needed to do that. You know, Ray J's World. Ray J, thank you for becoming a $5 shit bum and dropping a donation, man. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I don't think they needed to do that. But, I mean, the Christian cash-in and winning the belt would have been a pretty shocking, crazy moment. Anything to get the belt off Moxley. He is a dead champion.
Come on out, you rapist!
Jennifer Muppet Baby. Yo, Joe. When intros were made at the start of the championship match, did the ref hold up the belt like normal, or did he just hold up that briefcase? Yeah, he held up the briefcase. It's enraging. It's enraging. We don't see the belt. It's done a disservice to the title not seeing the belt. It's absolutely ridiculous that we're not seeing the belt. It's bad. Bad that they don't do that. Kenny Scanlon, what's up, Kenny? Thanks for subbing to the channel, man. What's up? I think it's ridiculous to not see the belt. I didn't know Moxley was the champion. I forgot. Like, the championship is dead right now. They've got to get this thing on somebody. It's not even a joke. It's not funny. It's bad. AEW Revolution, 135 votes have come in. 54% of you say it was good. 18% of you say it was amazing. I'm actually shocked that this is lower than I expected. 20% thought the show was blah. That's crazy. That doesn't seem right. I mean, that's crazy. I can't believe that. I do think that there were too many matches, maybe, right? Like, they probably could have gotten rid of the tag match. They probably could have gotten rid of something else. I mean, there were
Super chat party.
maybe a match or two too much, but
Joe, if I drink at least 5 beers a day, am I a drunk?
no. I mean, you might be like a bit of an alcoholic, but you're not a drunk. You're not a drunk. Andrave's Gaming, thank you, bro. Maybe, I mean, 5 beers, you're getting there, but no. You're like a daily lush or a daily lubricator. That's what I think. A drunk would be like every day you come home blasted. You know, if you come home like 5 shots or like 5 Captain and Cokes every day, that's a drunk. You know, maybe 10 beers. That's a drunk. 5 beers is like a weekend warrior type of thing. You know? That's not that bad. You know, you're like I don't know. You're like a blue collar guy out for a drink, not a drunk. I mean, 5 beers a day every day. I mean, that's probably not going to be great for you in the long run, but yeah, you're not a drunk. Drunk is like, you know, you're loaded. I miss Stone Cold's beer, don't you guys? Remember Stone Cold's beer? Remember Stone Cold's beer? You guys remember when Stone Cold stunned Montez Ford and he fell like a corpse hitting a wall? Boy, that was exciting. I just saw the clip of that and remembered it. Man, what a time.
Super chat party.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. You're welcome, baby. All the way up in Canada, we love you. Except for when you boo our anthem. Son of a bitches. You're going to be part of the USA soon. I'm just kidding. Yeah, crazy, man. Crazy stuff. The robe stuff was fun. I enjoyed the robe stuff. I loved it.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years.
I take it all back.
In all that time have I ever felt until last Sunday.
They wasted a cash-in, though.
That my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
I feel like 8 matches on any PPV is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think, 6, 7, 8 matches. How many matches do we have tonight, though? We had more than that? It was just so long. It felt like I saw 15 matches tonight. I mean, did I not? Did I not see 15 matches? It felt like insane. Like, everyone's bleeding everywhere. BBC, thank you for the donation. Everyone's bleeding all over the place. And then in the end, they waste the cash in. I didn't like that. Those are the negatives. Like, those are the negatives. The negatives are very few and far between. The positives so far outweighed the negatives tonight. Like, so far. The negatives
is
are
a moron.
not even close.
Scissor me, Joe!
Apparently Mox said to Renee, his wife, in a promo, he keeps the championship in a briefcase because Mox himself is the championship, which makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I don't really get that. That's weird, and I get he's saying that. That's bizarre. I hate whatever Moxley is fucking doing. The fact that he retained the thing tonight was fucking enraging. That was stupid. It was a waste. I loved that they had Christian cash in. That was so cool. I really enjoyed that. The main event was suffering because of how crazy the show previously was. But then they just took a shit on it with Moxley just retaining anyway. I hate that. I hate that ending. But it is whatever. Elimination Chamber was really good. Tonight was really good. I don't think you can really compare, with Cena turning heel and all that stuff. But, I mean, as far as the wrestling goes, tonight was wild. This is one of the best AEW shows in a long time, maybe years. Maybe like a year to 2 years. I'm trying to think. I can't think. They all blur together now. But this was the first time in a while that I've been like, wow, that complete show was fun. From the beginning to the very end, I had a good time watching AEW tonight. So, for those reasons, I'm giving this show like an 8.5 out of 10. Like, this was kind of what I wanted. Discord's open if you want to jump on there, anybody. Louis Ordinetta, Mox sucks so bad I don't care about him. I think a lot of people feel that way right now. Mox is just kind of like dead. They got to get the belt off him, but they didn't. I'm surprised. Why in the world wouldn't they do that? I feel like 8 matches is perfect. How many matches do we have? Was it really 8? It felt like 1 million. It felt like 1 million, dude. Champagne bottle to the vagina gets a 10.10. 10 out of 10, rather. Yeah, I can't believe I saw one of the women stab the other woman in the puss.
Joe, or like a best friend to me, is that weird?
Yeah. Probably. I mean, I don't think it's weird, really, but, I'm glad I'm somebody's best friend, I don't really have a lot of those that don't end up hating me after a couple of years or something. So I'll take the best friend. It's been a fucking terrible week, so at least tonight's show was good. At least I watched a good wrestling show tonight, It's been so... I was worried this was going to be a miserable show, Miserable week, miserable show. Waste 7 hours of my life. I could have hung out with my kids. I could have kept job searching. I could have been making videos and things. And I sat here and watched this whole goddamn show, and I was worried it was going to be a waste of time, but it wasn't. It was a really good show. Revolution 2025, mark it down. Get this on Blu-ray, maybe. I mean, pretty good. Brandon Salmon, what's up? I'll be honest, forgot that even happened. What happens when the show goes on forever? Yeah, the show went on a little long. That's the one thing. It's a little bit long. I think that's the complaints that we have tonight are like weird complaints, but they're worth evaluating. Whisper Zeta says it's going to be Mox, Cope, Christian at Double or Nothing. When is Double or Nothing? Is that May or something? Does anybody remember? I think it's May, but I could be wrong. March, April, May, because that's a ways away. May, eat some hay by the bay. We're live on X. We're live on YouTube. We're live in your mom's house. Let's see. Andrave's Gaming is my friend. Thank you, brother. Good to know that. It's May 25th. Okay. May 25th, so we're getting there. I watched the whole show with the chat, Ghost, and Joe and E-Man. Oh, Ghost was here the whole show? I never see Ghost, really. I see him during the stream earlier tonight. I haven't seen him in a while, though. You'd never have women wrestlers ever do a match like Toni Storm and Mariah May did tonight. Yeah, it was wild. The women put on a awesome story, hardcore wrestling match. The crowd was engaged, and that's my match of the night. I'm not going to give anybody a better rating than Toni Storm's match. I'm fully into Toni Storm and into everything she does. Love it. Toni Storm is crushing it. Those women, man, they did such a good job, dude. They did such a good job. The press conference is going on. Let me just see what we're saying here, because it's what a late night, man. They're gonna be rocking and rolling all freaking night long.
Here, they were tremendous, and they got
like there's doubters to silence, because that's what AEW is all about. All Elite Wrestling is always about being backed up against the wall, with all the doubters pointing their finger at you, telling you about this business, about what professional wrestling, what Tony Khan, a promoter, a CEO of a company, what it should be, and we're like flipping that on them. And we're turning the mirror to them. We're like, no, like we say no a lot, all the time. We're always backed against the wall, and then we do something like Revolution. It makes you wonder, like, you know what, I was wrong. So put me on the top of that mountain and lead this company as a world champion again. And for honestly, I don't know if it's said on commentary, but this is the first time two black men went for the number one contendership for the AEW World Championship.
Oh my God, here he goes again. I don't know if it was said on commentary. He just buried the commentary. Like, I don't know if it was said on commentary, but.
And went for the number one contendership for the AEW World Championship as well. Mountain and lead this company as a world champion again. And for honestly, I don't know if it's said on commentary, but this is the first time two black men went for the number one contendership for the AEW World Championship as well. And I'll have no problem saying that over and over again, saying it louder, because I'm proud of that as well. And that was someone across the ring for me, Ricochet, someone who I haven't liked for over 10 years.
Is Swerve Stricken listening to my show or something? Or are other people making the same criticisms that I am? Because I went on a rant about the criticism of him complaining about that recently. And then I even was criticizing what AEW was doing, whatever. And it's like, maybe everybody was doing that. But, like, yeah, he's literally saying, everything he's saying right there sounds like a back at what I said about him a couple weeks ago, if you guys remember. Funny enough, I was like, stop crying about this stuff. Yeah, I think that, obsessing over the race of people in the championship matches is bizarre. So, I don't know, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's not that big a deal that he's doing that. I mean, that is cool that, like, there's diversity in the company. That's great. But, like, AEW's been around for 2 seconds. Like, oh, that's the first black wrestler. I mean, like, it's going to be the first everything. The company's only been here for like 5 years. Just weird, but whatever. It's not that big a deal. But it's great that the company is diverse. Like, that's cool. Like, I mean, what? It's just crazy that people think about these things. To me. Weird. Press conference started with, what a great show. Just such a great show. Great job.
Yep. Swerve Strickland.
I almost wish I went to this press event because, watching the show and whatever would have been something to do. Maybe I could have yelled stuff out loud and attacked. I could have attacked Renee. No, I don't know.
Yeah, take a seat up here. Wherever looks good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Pardon me, everybody. I have a ruptured eardrum right now, so I can only hear out this ear. So definitely be loud. Here's your questions. Thank you.
Without further ado, guys, let's just get into it. Get right into the question.
Swerve Strickland has a ruptured eardrum. You hear that? Was that a joke, or is that like a, you know what I mean? Like, is he joking because of the Cody Rhodes thing, or did he really rupture his eardrum? Because he did get pancaked, or he's just selling. Either way, I like it.
Questions from you guys. So if you've got questions,
I like it,
the
Swerve.
microphone over to you.
Oh, real quick, I will. Oh, okay. Anyway, real quick. Obviously, the show tonight, Revolution, was really friggin' good. It was such a good show. Except the main event, the way it ended was bad. But then it ended with Swerve Strickland attacking Mox, which was good. So it's weird, if that makes any sense. That's at least how I feel. But what a great show tonight. And I will say, though, that was really good. So I don't know if he really has a ruptured eardrum or what's going on, but I will say that Swerve was great at the end when he attacked Moxley. I like that. And also, Ricochet and Swerve Strickland, they did crush it. I talked about it earlier. This is the best Ricochet's ever been. He's got the most character he's ever had, and he's elevated himself in AEW, which is amazing. I didn't think that was going to happen. I don't think anybody saw this coming. But he's also elevated Swerve. Swerve has elevated himself. Ricochet elevated him. He's now won. This is what you want. This is the progression you want. Really good shit. That's what you can say.
Hello, Tony. Hello, Swerve. Jorge Cervera with Lucha Libre Online. Congratulations on the win for tonight. It was a pretty good match, you versus Ricochet. And I want to know what does it mean to you to have once again the opportunity to be the AEW World Champion. And after the show, I don't know if it was off the camera after the pay-per-view, but you talked with Cope. So how was it to share the ring with him and having the opportunity to be once again the AEW champion?
All this feels like divine for me. Like I debuted here 3 years ago on Revolution. Revolution last year, I wrestled in a 3-way for the AEW World Championship, and now this year's Revolution, I'm in #1 contendership for the AEW World Championship. So since the first Revolution, I've been talking about coming for championships, and it was like a bold statement to say right off the gate with a lot of people that weren't familiar with who I was, a lot of people that weren't familiar with like where I came from, what I was capable of, what I would do. There's a lot of doubt in the atmosphere that night, and ever since then, I've gone on to like win tag team championships. I've gone on to headline pay-per-views as world champion. Then I got to headline All In, the first black wrestler to ever main event Wembley Stadium, and so there's still like casted doubt in so many different ways, and it's just like that's something that I really thrive for. And so Revolution is always like the pay-per-view that I show up in, like silence doubters, and then Dynasty, which is next, is like where I like shut them up completely. So after the pay-per-view going off the air with Copeland, I didn't even know he was going to actually still be in the ring. I was just like, man, this is my hero, this is my idol in the ring right now. What would young Stefan Strickland say to like his hero Cope? And those were like words of like from the heart, and it's just like speaking in a way like the crypto arena. This is where this man made history in this building as well. So it's just like, man, like what would I say to him? And that's what you heard.
Oh my God, I had my voice changer on. Swerve did great tonight. Prince Nana, Swerve, I thought they did a good job.
Finger at you, telling you what something about this business, about what professional wrestling, what Tony Khan, the promoter, a CEO of a company, what it should be, and we're like flipping that on them. And we're turning the mirror to them. We're like, no, like we say no a lot all the time. We're always backed against the wall, and then we do something like Revolution. It makes you wonder, like, you know what, I was wrong. So
he's right about that. I would agree with him that a lot of people thought this company's dead. This is going to suck. It's going to be bad. Whatever. Great pay-per-view tonight. Great show. That part I understand what he's trying to say there. I don't think he should make it us against them and us against everybody in a media scrum. I think. But I also, fuck it, say whatever you want. That makes you great.
Put me on the top of that mountain and lead this company as a world champion again. And for honestly, I don't know if it's said on commentary, but this is the first time 2 black men went for the #1 contendership for the AEW World Championship as well. And I'll have no problem saying that over and over again, saying it louder, because I'm proud of that as well. And that was someone across the ring from me, Ricochet, someone who I haven't liked for over 10 years. 100% legit. have not gotten along. And that's what we can do together, because I believe in our product. I believe in our talent. I believe in our locker room. And if I can do that with someone like that and push the bar again, I welcome anybody to come over to this company and think that they can do that. But not just like think about it. I want you to do it. I want you to actually prove it. You know what I mean? I want you to live up to like put the money where your mouth is, cash that check, because we just proved that we can over and over again.
All right, 2 more questions, guys.
Go after John Moxley. But something has to change and something has to be different, whatever that thing is.
So Swerve's first up. He just kind of rambled on. Pretty good stuff.
AEW. That's a good thing.
Oh.
It is AEW. That's why it's another digital engagement.
Watch the products. Love it.
Here we go.
All right, let's get into so we'll get some questions from the media in just 1 second. But Tony, just to quickly throw a question to you. I mean, we've seen the success that we get of having Big Boom AJ, having his whole family out here, the success of that, but being here in LA, all this.
The Rizzler guys are out there right now. They're still out there.
And then wrestling in front of your family, like, that must make you so happy, like, to be having such a big part in your family, but doing such a successful thing.
So weird.
I sometimes I think it's just so crazy that this is where we are right now, because so it started off in Chicago.
It's weird because these guys wrestled a long time ago. You know, they're doing the media scrum right now. When did the Rizzler come out with Orange Cassidy? Wasn't that at like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.? Maybe it was later. Maybe it was 8:30. I don't know. When did the Rizzler come out, or whatever they are? Whatever that group is. I don't know anything about it. But they came out way earlier, right? Like, it was a while ago. So it's like, imagine that. You come out, you wrestle at like 7 p.m. 7, 9, 10, 12. It's like 6 hours ago. So you come out and you wrestle. Then you go to the back locker room, you watch the rest of the show, maybe, whatever. And then you got to go out and do the press conference. Like, I mean, that was a while ago.
Hey, Bullfrog
that went
is
down.
a moron.
Scissor me, Joe!
What up, Ray J?
Tonight was the first night you could watch AUPPVs on Prime. Apparently Dynamite and Collision are posted on Prime a week after airing too. Makes you think if after several years they will be like WWE and Netflix and move it all to Prime Video.
Yeah, that could be a possibility, sure. And I think that'd be good. Ray J's World, if they can get a deal where they can move all the AEW content ever to Prime.
Super chat
Wow.
party.
That'd be great to have it all on Amazon Prime.
It's not much, take my money, Joe.
Thank you, Undrivis Gaming. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I don't know I appreciate every penny, man. It helps a lot, no doubt about it. I don't think we're going to hit the $2,000 mark that we had to hit, but, it's been a rough time. We'll figure it out. I may not be streaming for a bit as I try to figure out my life. I still haven't gotten it's been a crazy, I'm not going to get into it. It's been a crazy week. But I appreciate you sending anything, man. That's cool, bro. Thank you. That was crazy. The 2 guys on top of the cage there. The women crushed it. Just for the people that just got here, I definitely think the Tony Storm match is my favorite match of the night. That's the best match. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I think the Ospreay match was close, and honestly could have been better in all realism, all honesty. But I don't know. The women just stole it beforehand, so I'd give the Ospreay a match an 8.5. There was a lot of false finish count out, just so many kickouts and stuff. Didn't love that, but it was a great match. So, there was this whole show was really good. I mean, there really wasn't a lot you could trim off. If I could make this show, like, if I had to get rid of an hour of this show, it would have been amazing. I would have gotten rid of the tag team match, and I would have gotten rid of maybe the Omega match. And then I would have put Okada versus Brody after the women's bloody match, and it would have been, and then that would have been what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches or so, 6, 7 matches, and that would have been great. But like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or something matches on the main card is friggin' crazy, especially when it's this crazy all night. When the show is this wild all night long. I mean, it's a lot to live up to, and it's a lot to take in. That's the only complaint about the night, is that maybe it's too much, and then certainly with all the blood and everything, like, it's just it's a lot. But even with all that, it ended up being that good that No one's really complaining that much about that because the show was that good. The learning tree ripped off a guy's mask. You know, Bill Belichick took his girlfriend who's like 20 out to dinner and that anniversary. It's really gross. Creepy. Saw that earlier. It was weird. Just a good night of wrestling, man. I'm gonna definitely rewatch the Tony Storm match again later. Let's go back to let's see what Tony Khan's saying real quick.
What it was, and wow, this is something that we'll never forget, and I hope you guys all feel the same way.
Thank you, Big Boom AJ. Thank you to your whole family. We love having you in AEW. Thank you.
And we love being here. Bring the boom!
Wow. Guy's very likable, though. I will say that. I think.
I
he's
mean,
likable.
what an incredible night. Crypto.com Arena, our first time being in here. What do you think it is that makes our pay-per-views so damn good? I mean, oh my God.
I love the show, Renee. It's a great question. I think it's, first of all, the AEW fans, the fans in the arena tonight added to every match. They were a huge part from start to finish. Fantastic reactions from the beginning of the show to the very end. And the wrestlers and staff. AEW is where the best wrestle, and I believe we have the best roster of wrestlers, and also amazing people backstage who make this possible, thanks to you and the great team. And I mentioned to you when I saw you backstage before the show got started, you know, I've been here so many times as a fan, as a sports fan. I've been to countless Lakers games here since I was a kid. When Shaq was in AEW, it meant a lot to me. I saw Shaq play here. I went to a lot of games over different eras. And this was the first time I was ever working in the building. This was the first time to do AEW here. And it was the first time I actually got to even be part of this backstage area we're all in and to see all this. And it's really special. When we had the first AEW Revolution, even though you weren't officially working in AEW yet, you were there. And we were in Chicago. And 5 years ago, we started this with an amazing show. I think it was one of the best AEW pay-per-views of all time, the original Revolution. And it was one of the shows in our first year that really set the standard for what AEW would be, the original Revolution. Now, 5 years later, what a show. I believe we have completely matched that. I think this also will stand there along with the original Revolution as one of the, bless you, my friend, one of the greatest pay-per-views in AEW's history. So 5 years later from the original Revolution to now, and to think about all the great stars and moments that have happened in the last 5 years, it's pretty special. But to answer your question, I think you and all the great backstage team, and I think all the great fans and the best roster of wrestlers in the world are what make the AEW pay-per-views time in, time out, I believe, the best pay-per-views in wrestling. Last year, we had a great year of pay-per-view. In 2025, this was our first pay-per-view. I think we've been doing great.
I think Tony Khan's right here.
Fans and the best roster of wrestlers in the world are what make the AEW pay-per-views time in, time out, I believe, the best pay-per-views in wrestling. Last year, we had a great year of pay-per-view. In 2025, this was our first pay-per-view. I think we've been doing great on television every Wednesday on Dynamite, Saturday on Collision with those shows. But I also think it was a big year for us.
No, he's dead right. This Revolution was really good. Like, you know, no matter what you say, this was a phenomenal show tonight for them. I mean, there's so many different things that you could go to. Really good. I thought the ending was whatever it was, but it was a really good show. This is going to be a successful show. And absolutely, if you were to look at the first Revolution, then look at this one, you know, you can say that there wasn't much drop-off at all, or they're as good or better. You know, you could argue about the product as a whole and how you feel about it, but I mean, overall tonight, this was definitely a success for Tony Khan. Hats off to Tony Khan and AEW here. All the criticisms of different things that they do wrong sometimes, I think, this was phenomenal tonight. So, good job there.
For us so far, because we kicked off our streaming deal. It was the beginning of this new era of AEW and Max. This is the first pay-per-view of that new era. We brought on a new pay-per-view partner with Amazon Prime. That was a huge success. So it looks like the early preliminary results really positive. And I think thanks to the whole great staff that put that together with us, the great fans here in LA and the great fans watching on pay-per-view, you and the staff and the best wrestlers in the world, we put on another great pay-per-view.
Tony, while we're here in the Renee and Tone Zone, I do have another question for you to over to everybody. Because you are such a huge wrestling fan. Like, I mean, I was watching on one of the monitors in the back, and I'm like freaking out watching some of these matches. How do you watch these matches while also producing the show? How the hell do you wear both those hats?
It's a really great question. It's hard to do, but it's a great thing. And just like when you're a very experienced commentator, producer, announcer, and just like when you're working, it's kind of tough. It's sometimes you lose yourself in these moments, and that's what's great about loving it so much. But we have set the standard with these great pay-per-views, and I really enjoyed them. Just like that original Revolution and all the great moments on that show. It's come, you know, full circle here 5 years later, and that was where Jon Moxley first won the world title. Here we are 5 years later. Revolution's been a lot of the best moments in AEW's history, and I think you know, it's funny looking back, I can remember so many of them like they were just yesterday. It's crazy to think we've been doing this Revolution for 5 years and as a company now for about 6 years. And you do kind of lose yourself in those moments as a fan because the shows have been that great. It's easy to do. So I'm right.
It's crazy to think because there's like 9,000 or so people watching this press conference, But one thing I will say, not to be negative after such a great show, but one thing I can say about the press conferences, when they would sometimes do the all in, all out, or the press conferences, like when they did the press conference where CM Punk went off on everybody back then in AEW, if I remember correctly, that press conference had like 50,000 people or more, something like that, watching it. It was crazy. Like from the beginning to the end, there was over 30,000, 50,000, something thousand people watching those press conferences. So it is interesting to look at this press conference here tonight and see that there's about 9,000 people watching. That's very interesting that it's gone down that far. I mean, I used to do AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays when we did my show. I used to get, we used to do 800 to 600 people watching my AEW review. And now we're doing a pay-per-view tonight, and there was about 300 people at one point in here. But it's just crazy to watch how things have dwindled over the years, wrestling-wise, from AEW and me, But AEW has gone down quite a bit, as far as viewership, and it's very noticeable when you see that. Not to be negative, I'm just saying it's a very, it's sad. It's like, oh, man, like I wish things would keep going up and up and up and up. But they come down quite a bit. When you look at it. The press conference is very minuscule compared to what it used to be. 9,000 people. I would have thought 30,000 people were watching this. So just, I don't know.
Right there with you. I'm sure the same things happen to you when you're,
Hey,
covering the
list
shows.
yourself, Yeah. All right, you guys can have them now. You guys got any
Thanks,
questions?
Renee.
for
Great
Tony?
question. I appreciate it.
What is your mindset when it comes to structuring a pay-per-view like Revolution? What goes into match order, how you see things playing out? What does the structure look like in your mind?
That voice sounds familiar. Who the fuck is asking that question? Sounds so familiar.
Well, it's a great question. I think this has been a great show.
Swerve is DEI. Somebody is spamming that in their chat.
I saw that report. I think to put in perspective what people might have seen and observed, really last year I thought was one of the best years of pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. though. Yeah, but it was 1 a.m. Was it not 1 a.m. when CM Punk cut that promo? Is it not 1 a.m. every time an AEW pay-per-view ends? They fucking end at like 1 a.m. every time. These pay-per-views always end at 1 a.m. All out, all in, whatever. They end at like 1 a.m. every time. What's the difference?
We've done. And
but I love it. What a great show tonight. I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 pay-per-view. Great job. Revolution was very fun to watch.
Maintain that standard. And I've always been really a big picture guy, but also a very detail-oriented guy. There's been times in AEW where I've been really super detail-oriented, like peak Pandemic, like that original Revolution I've talked about 5 years ago, wanting to be all over every moment of everything. And I thought that first Revolution, that pay-per-view was one of the best pay-per-views we've done, and the TV on the run-up to the original Revolution was some of the best TV we've done. And that was what I wanted to get back to here. And I said, okay, well, that's the idea of being in the weeds on everything, make sure every detail's right, because that's the same attitude I think we had going into the original Revolution, that every show's got to be great. And we had that great run of TV. Of course, I still remember February 2020 like it was yesterday. We had these great towns, these great moments. We were in Austin, Texas. We were in Atlanta. We were in Kansas City. We had some great shows on the run-up to the original Revolution, and some of the best TVs I think we had done at that point, certainly, and some maybe ever. That pay-per-view was fantastic, and all the details I thought were perfect, and then the show delivered. And that was the goal. We've been doing these great pay-per-views. We've had a lot of great TVs. Something really cool happened at the start of this year. We've had this great roster that really got us through the end of the year. I thought we ended on a real high note with a great World's End and a great Continental Classic that culminated at World's End. And then right at the end of the year, we had some of the biggest stars in AEW returning, where we had MJF, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, all former world champions, Adam Copeland, one of the greatest world champions in wrestling history, and former two-time TNT champion, all these people coming back at the end of the year, going into the streaming era. So I thought the pieces were there. If we got all the details right and do a great run of TV, just like with the original Revolution, I knew we could really get the fans around the show, and I think that buzz was there, where people were so excited for this pay-per-view. The TV was great. All the matches had an exciting feeling around them, and the pay-per-view I thought really delivered. And so I was really happy with it, and that's how I felt when we were there in Chicago 5 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for asking.
Hi, Anthony Bettino with Annenberg Media. This isn't the first time you guys have ran a pay-per-view in Los Angeles, that being the last one in the Kia Forum, but there's a new hot, big arena in town. Could we possibly see AEW into a dome soon?
I really have had a first great experience here. In the past, we've had great shows in Los Angeles, but this was our first show here at Crypto.com Arena. I'm a great fan of this, so I think we've had a great experience here. So, we've had great collaborations and partnerships. So first and foremost, I'm really excited about what we've done here tonight.
What a name, Cryptocurrency.com Arena. Like, what the shit with that name? What a name. Should I buy some crypto? Are they selling crypto for what?
this was our debut in a very historic building, one of the most significant sports arenas in the world. And it was a big success for the company. It was one of our biggest crowds and certainly one of our best pay-per-views, I feel like, start to finish that we've done. So this building was a complete home run. We just had Grand Slam Australia, and I thought this building tonight was a veritable Grand Slam. So I love being here, and it was a great revolution. So first and foremost, I'm very grateful to Crypto.com Arena and the promoters here, and I would love to come back here. Thanks for asking.
No. Look at that.
Tony, Michael Fairman TV.
Come on back.
I just want to say, let's just talk about the Mariah May Tony Storm, the culmination of this extraordinary story that you told from start to finish. And it has the Hollywood ending tonight. It has the end on the screen, which was brilliant. There were so many brilliant points through it. And you followed it through. With the success of that, can you see yourself doing a long arc story again?
This guy wants to
with a couple
gobble him.
other, more of that. Because, sometimes you'll see stories in wrestling that get aborted, you shift, you go left. This you told all the way through.
Thank you. I'm really proud of it. And I think it's very cool that we were able to come here and have the Hollywood ending and the culmination of this long rivalry. Absolutely, the goal would be to have whenever it's possible to have something, because like you said, people get injured especially when you have such a hard-hitting style. I mean, what a match it was tonight. And they've had hard-hitting great matches. This took the rivalry to another level. It truly was a fantastic Hollywood ending. To come here to Los Angeles and to know that so much of the roots of the story are from Hollywood, to know that, of course, Sunset Boulevard is set here in Los Angeles, and there's elements of the character and elements of the presentation of Tony Storm that are taken from that, but also so much of the story here that is really a tribute to All About Eve. And the idea of having somebody come into AEW at the beginning, somebody who is a credentialed, talented person with goals, something that is an ulterior motive really, but a really accomplished person in the industry to come in and kind of hide that and really put at the forefront that they're a big fan of the top person in the industry and make it seem like they're trying to get in, trying to get favor with them, trying to learn from them, trying to be a protege to them, when in reality, they're angling for something. They're trying to take their spot. That was the story we told in the first year with Tony and Mariah, and it built to the culmination of the Owen Hart Women's Cup tournament. And we had that great final match. Mariah finally put the knife in Tony. She finally betrayed Tony. That led us to the first match at Wembley Stadium last year. What a fantastic world championship match. And it was Mariah May winning the title. The glamour Mariah May fully revealed her presentation, more like what we'd seen from her before she arrived in AEW now, and starting to reveal.
Yeah, well, he's still rambling. I wonder how long Tony's going to talk tonight. He could be here. He could be here quite a bit. He might be doing this for a while. So that's about it. I pretty much don't laugh my ass off. That would have been interesting right now, but I didn't have a tough night. I had I do, but because I just don't. Moxley is a dead champion. He is a absolute dead champ. I didn't even know he had the belt because I keep forgetting because he keeps it in that briefcase, number one. And number two, he's just nothing. So I am shocked that they kept the belt on him. I really am, because he's been a dead champion. So that's about it. I pretty much don't disagree with just about anything that happened tonight. I had fun watching everything. I loved the show. This show was awesome. Make no mistake about it. This show was fucking awesome tonight. I'm sorry. I was giving shit ratings Edge and Moxley wasn't very good as far as a match goes. It was slow paced, methodical. You know how those guys are. But with the Christians signing up to almost cash in and some of that stuff going on at the end, I might give it a 6.5 out of 10. And maybe higher because of that. But it was good drama at the end, which is good. And you just weren't used to it because all night was fast-paced video game, blockbuster move after blockbuster move, blood everywhere. It was crazy. The MJF match went as I thought it was going to with Hangman Page. Ricochet, they didn't quite do what I wanted. I thought Prince Nana was going to turn heel and cost Swerve the match, and then he did tease that, but it didn't happen. And then in the end, he was back with Swerve, and he got the jacket back or whatever. They actually made me care about it tonight for some reason. Like some of that stuff, I didn't give a shit before this, but tonight I finally kind of like the jacket thing. They made it connect finally. And granted, it would have been better if I connected earlier, but that might just be me personally, not what they did. But they made me care about a fucking coat tonight or whatever, so that was kind of cool. So for all these reasons, I just think that they really, really succeeded tonight. This has been one of the best pay-per-views, AEW shows in a long time. Definitely if you watch SmackDown and Raw and Dynamite this week or NXT, I cannot fathom it if somebody didn't watch this tonight. If you did not watch this pay-per-view tonight, but you watched all that other shit for the last couple of weeks, you're crazy. Like, you're a crazy person if you missed this, but you watch all that other stuff. because this was wild tonight. This was really good. AEW may be a 5 or 6 out of 10 weekly recently, but this show tonight was stellar. I mean, I can't believe anybody would give this below a 7 out of 10. I really can't believe that. I don't think I could take you seriously. You know, I would give this a 7 out of 10. I don't think we needed all the blood we got. There was so much blood. I don't care. What I really don't think is we need people licking their blood all the time. That's fucking bizarre. Everybody is licking other guys' blood all the time. That's a little weird. I just think that's overplayed and stupid. Did you see the last match do it, guys? Great. You're licking people's blood. But, like, where do you go from here when people are bleeding everywhere and there's people licking blood and sucking blood and, and getting thumbtacks in the dick and the balls, and then another woman is getting stabbed in the pussy with a glass bottle? I mean, this was some shit that, this went into some ECW tonight in a lot of ways. There was a lot of shit going on. I'm going to give you my rating. I've got ratings for everything. And we'll talk about it, but how about this?
One thing I learned about pro wrestlers, y'all know you're gonna win before anybody else does. So thank you for teaching me that.
Oh boy. They probably shouldn't have put those ladies on at the end. The crowd was dead, so to promote the movie at that time I thought was a mistake. They should have promoted the movie in the first match or second match when the crowd's still lively and they're like, oh yeah, let's go see that movie. But by the time they were trying to promote the movie with these girls and looking for an interaction with the crowd, it's like, dude, the crowd's dead. They just saw like 70 million wrestling moves in the last 4 hours. Like, they don't know what the fuck is going on. And then this lady basically is like, let me just tell you, we're like, let's just break kayfabe right now. It was just so weird. I think that's an out of context comment that she's making. It has something to do with the movie and you know what I mean? Her talking about being a wrestler in the context of the movie somehow. But saying it out loud during a wrestling show is so weird, and that just came off bizarre. But I don't think she understands the business and understands the way that sounds. But so bless her heart, she doesn't know what she's saying. Whatever though. But we also don't know what she's saying because she's quoting something that the character in the movie says and that the real wrestler might have said or whatever. But like it's out of context when she says that because none of us have seen the movie yet, and she's saying it, and that sounds like you're saying, well, wrestling's fake, but I know I'm going to win, and that's a weird thing to just kind of say out of nowhere. They probably should have smartened her up to that comment, but because she said it earlier in the pre-show too. She said it during the pre-show before they came out there, and someone should have said, that is so awesome, and that's totally true, but you might not want to say that out loud, because these people haven't seen the movie yet. They don't know why you're saying that. It sounds like to them that you're saying wrestling's fake. Like, I don't know. But whatever. Maybe, whatever the fuck. Who cares? Who gives a shit? It's all fake.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years. Never in all that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday,
what's up, dog,
that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
Christian literally had that contract for so long just to lose it like that. That was the worst cash-in ever. Why did the show have to be so long? Stop booking so many matches. The crowd is falling asleep. What is with these main events being so bad?
Yeah, I don't think I think one of the weakest things that happened tonight was the main event. And certainly I thought it was going to be worth it though. When Christian was signing the contract or cashing in or whatever it is, when Christian was signing the contract to come into the match, I suddenly went, "Oh my God, this is going to be good now." Thank God, because how can they compete with everything that happened earlier? The belt's on the line. I thought the commentary died too. The commentary really needed to play up. Why wasn't the commentary playing up that, Edge is trying to win? The son of a bitch, he's 48 years old or whatever, 50 years old, and this is what he's worked so damn hard to get back, the AEW championship. Like, all that sort of thing. And they really weren't going into that. They should have been talking about the title, about Copeland and his battle, and this is his last chance maybe, and his damn body's giving out, but his soul, his heart, but they didn't have any of that. It wasn't a great call on commentary. Now, I thought commentary was pretty good all night though. I really actually thought the commentary was pretty good throughout the night. But I thought in the main event tonight that they were tired, or they They didn't have the heart, and that match is actually, quite honestly, that match probably needed it the most. The Adam Copeland match with Moxley needed the most drama and talk and build up verbally by the commentary, and they just didn't quite do it for me. But they were dying, and it was like, why aren't you talking about it? You know, why aren't you bringing it up? Like, look at how fatigued Adam Copeland looks. You wonder if he's got anything left. He's already tired. We're 5 minutes into this thing. There's no doubt, like, Copeland's got to fight through hell to Moxley's 10 years younger or whatever, bring up that he's younger. He's younger champion. All these things. And they didn't do that. They just sort of were like calling it like whatever. They were calling it the same way they would have called any match earlier in the night. But the problem is those matches early in the night were flip-flop chaos insanity. And so how could you possibly match that? So they needed to build up the story. They needed to build it up more. But anyway, I have very few complaints about this show tonight. This show was so good. So entertaining for the most part. The only problem with the show tonight, it was a little long. There was probably maybe too much gore, maybe, but I don't care about that really, but whatever. But the real problem was the way they ended the main event. Christian not winning is a fucking travesty. He should have won that match. It would have been fucking awesome. And I agree, like Fallen says in the chat right now, that it will lead to a triple threat. You might be right. And listen, went back in time a little bit to play a little bit of that for the last 5 minutes or so because I had to pee like crazy, and I just wanted to, just take a look at a couple replays that I saw from tonight because it was a crazy night. It's a crazy time. You're ending a show. It's just so late to end a show. That's the only thing, like, the only issue is it's just so late to end a pay-per-view. It's 1:30 right now. We're all still here. And how many more people would be here, though? If this show had ended at like 11, you know what I mean? There'd be so many more people still hyped, all talking about everything. And instead of like, oh, I passed out in the end or I whatever. People got to get up early for work on Monday morning. So it's just, that's one of those, like, there's not a lot of stuff to complain about tonight. We're really kind of nitpicking and stretching to try to make criticisms, I think, because the show is so good. And my biggest criticism is I wish the belt was on Christian. I wish Christian had won there. That would have been great. Didn't happen. But it is what it is. See you, Twitter. Everybody on X, on Twitter, come over to YouTube. We're gonna end the broadcast on X. I don't think it did very well. It's funny because people keep telling me, you got to do X, man. It's so good. Well, I don't know, man. It'll never do that well for me. Doesn't seem to do that well for me, but I guess, some people say it's great. Maybe it is for some people. I don't know. Let's see. But let's go back to a little more Tony here.
Well, she's a lot more than just a Tony.
See what else he said.
Storm fan. She's a top wrestler, and she came into this with a plan. And like you said, this story kind of played itself out over that part of the year. And then since then, for months and months, it's unfolded. We saw Tony disappear from wrestling and really leave a lot of uncertainty about her future. The story took a lot of twists and turns. It played out perfectly. Thankfully, everybody was able to get through because there was a lot of hard-hitting matches along the way for both of them. Then when Mariah became the champion, she took on a tough schedule. She did hard-hitting matches. And after she got through everything, Tony came back, and nobody really understood what to make of Tony's presentation as the rookie, because looking back, Tony came back as something she is not. Tony came back kind of trying to return the favor to Mariah. Mariah presented herself as a Tony Storm fan. Tony Storm presented herself not as timeless Tony Storm, not as the former mentor, but as a rookie, trying to play head games with Mariah, trying to get in her head the same way Mariah had really been able to do to Tony ahead of Wembley Stadium. Then we went to Brisbane for Grand Slam Australia, what I personally believe is the greatest AEW TV show of all time. I think start to finish, my personal favorite, it's all just opinions, but my personal favorite TV show we ever did was Grand Slam Australia. It was 2 minutes and 4 seconds start to finish of just fantastic moments culminating in the rematch, Tony Storm versus Mariah May Part 2. And just as we saw Mariah May, her plan unfold in her hometown. She won the Wembley Stadium on the big stage and took the title in the first match. Tony got a measure of revenge in her hometown. It was a great ending. But with AEW Revolution coming here to Los Angeles, I really felt like we should have the Hollywood ending. And there were so many great elements. We're grateful to our media partners, Warner Brothers, TCM, for helping us along the way with the promotion. Very grateful to the filmmakers that helped inspire the ideas, but also very grateful to both women, because I think that the fans who supported them along the way, the fans in the arena tonight were fantastic. I think at all three matches, whether it was London, Brisbane, or tonight in Los Angeles, all were the perfect places, the perfect time for Toni Storm and Mariah May to take center stage. And I thought that in particular, the two of them tonight delivered their finest match yet, their finest moment, and a great story that we've been able to tell thanks to the two of them, the Glamour Mariah May, who has been a great world champion, and our AEW Women's World Champion, timeless Toni Storm. I think it's just a fantastic story, and I'm really glad that you asked about it, because anytime you can do something that takes place over a couple of years and really showcases two stars, but there were a lot of other people, a lot of moments that were involved, moved, elevated along the way, and it's really spanned some of our best shows and best events ever. Thank you. And I think in particular, all three matches were perfect. And also, whether it was All In London, Wembley Stadium last August, or Grand Slam Australia in Brisbane this past month, or tonight, Revolution here in Los Angeles, I really think all three of these are three of the best shows we've ever done. And certainly Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May are a huge, huge part of why those are three of our greatest shows and a great trilogy. Thank you for asking.
Hey. Hi, Tony. Chris Martinez, iHeartRadio San Diego, Gina Frankie Morning Show, Channel 93. Gotta get all the plugins, you know. Real quick, we saw Big Boom AJ perform at a high level of talent right here at AEW tonight. Is there any other like celebrity or influencer that you could see jumping in the ring and doing what he did tonight?
Well, I absolutely thought Big Boom AJ was tremendous. I mean, it's a very high standard. Certainly, he was one of the really popular figures and somebody who really helped us drive a lot of interest in the show. Another person who came in and did fantastic for us, and it's somebody who has a lot of history in this arena in particular, and somebody I think the world of, is Shaq. Shaq came in and was fantastic for AEW, and that was actually 4 years ago this week at the
bring him in now. He's old as hell.
21. Shaq was in AEW, so 4 years ago we saw him. He is absolutely somebody else who's always welcome in AEW. He was one of the greatest celebrities we've ever had, and he is truly one of the most recognizable people in the world when he goes in front of the camera. But Shaq is also one of the most genuine, authentic, and respectful and kind and amazing people behind the camera as well. So Shaq is always somebody that I would hold up to that standard. Thank you for asking.
We ran into Charles Barkley at the airport in Phoenix. I think he might be down too. So
oh, interesting.
Keep
Okay.
that in your back pocket.
Well, that's good to know. They make a heck of a team. They make a heck of a team on Inside the NBA. They could be a heck of a tandem in the ring.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley could be good. I want to get Charles Barkley out on the golf course sometime.
All right.
That'd be good. People would. Well, I think he and I could have a good golf match.
2 more questions, guys.
How you doing, Tony? Tajan Ryan from Pro Wrestling Torch. First up, I just want to say congratulations on a great show tonight.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
And another incredibly buzzworthy moment that happened tonight was the crowning of a new international champion in Kenny Omega. For a lot of fans, some of AEW's highest highs have been when Kenny was holding the world championship, or for a period of time, 3 or 4 world championships. What does it mean for you to not only have Kenny back in fighting shape, but with gold around his waist once more?
It's fantastic. Kenny Omega is one of the most accomplished, decorated stars we've ever had, but he's also somebody who's been in AEW since the very beginning. In the main event of our very first show, the original Double or Nothing, and in a very prominent position at AEW Revolution from the very beginning. We saw Kenny Omega and Hangman Page team up against the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, the World Tag Team Champions at the original Revolution. Tonight, we saw Kenny Omega win the AEW International Championship. It puts him on a very select list, a list of one. Only people in AEW history to be the AEW World Champion, a World Tag Team Champion, World Trios Champion, and now the International Champion. Very special. And it's a great list of international champions. Some of the biggest and best names, including Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy, and many others. Some of our great stars held the title. And the man who Kenny wrestled tonight, Konosuke Takeshita, has defended the title all over the world. He defended the title in different promotions against top competition. He had one of his best matches yet as champion was actually just a couple weeks ago on Dynamite in the main event against Orange Cassidy, who up to this point, maybe those are the 2 greatest international champions ever. And like I said, when you have a title that's been held by some of the greats, including those 2, the world champion, Jon Moxley, many other great stars from the very beginning, you have something very special when you have a moment like that to have Kenny Omega come back from everything he overcame, because it was not a given a year ago that Kenny Omega was going to get back in the ring and wrestle. He was out of the ring for over a year, and he was been a huge part of AEW from the very beginning. So that's why I referenced before, we knew going into this era, now that we're doing every Wednesday on TBS, we're doing every Saturday on TNT, but we're also streaming every show on Max now. That adds another importance, that adds another level of excitement to every show. And from the very beginning of the year, Kenny Omega has been with us since we kicked it off, and it's been a huge focus. Whether it was Maximum Carnage, seeing Kenny Omega's return to the AEW ring, or Grand Slam Brisbane, that classic match, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita, the international champion at the time. And then this match tonight, Kenny, his whole comeback, now with him winning the international championship at Revolution, an event that Kenny Omega, it was a huge part of establishing as one of AEW's signature great events year in, year out. That is very special. So to have Kenny Omega be a part of this great pay-per-view, that means a lot to me, because I thought we had a great year on pay-per-view last year, and really we had almost everything you could want on our pay-per-views last year. So many great things. But one thing I did miss last year was Kenny Omega. And boy, did we get him back tonight, and I was really glad to have Kenny back. And
Mike Tyson, bring him back.
International championship.
Bring back Mike Tyson, guys.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
Hi, Tony. Miles Gonzaldo from K-Rock in Los Angeles. Hey. Thank you so much for an incredible evening. First time ever at Crypto.com Arena. Just the crowd, the energy was unbelievable. You just did such a wonderful job explaining the Mariah May, Toni Storm kind of trilogy and the story to this point. And what a night they had this evening. Mox, Cope, everyone was just so incredible. We were talking earlier about, structuring a show.
Imagine if Mike Tyson came back.
When you look back on an event, is there ever any worry, or not worry so much, but thought as to, what could have closed the show? Like, could Mariah and Toni could that have closed? Should it have closed? When you look back on these events and these shows, is there anything you would change? And just talking more about the night they had tonight.
Well, I thought that was absolutely fantastic.
Look at that.
And absolutely, they are both main event quality wrestlers. And we talked about Grand Slam Australia, which I thought was probably the best TV show we've ever done start to finish. And in that case, I thought we put together a great show with great moments. And for where we were going next, I thought it made a lot of sense. But also for where they had been, I felt like that's a fantastic main event. And you saw, it was a great match to kick off the show. Like I said, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay got a great reaction. That was a great tag team match. And in the middle of the show, the crossover, the halfway point, great moment and great match to have Adam Copeland return to Australia. And the way the show was built, there were really great moments throughout, but I thought Tony and Mariah in Australia had a fantastic main event tonight. They delivered. It was absolutely fantastic, great match. And I really believed in it. And I really believed in the story, which is, like I said, the culmination of a really, really long plan and just absolutely fantastic series of events. And absolutely, that's a match that's capable of main eventing, just like in Australia. It's at the Hollywood ending or the match at Wembley Stadium, all world title main event level matches. And in particular, I would say their match they did main event Grand Slam Australia was one of the great main events on my all-time favorite TV show. So many great matches and moments along the way, including main events. And I do think tonight's show was one of the best start to finish we ever did. So hindsight's always 20/20, but to me, like putting it back together and looking back on it, it's one of my all-time favorite shows. So I was really happy with it. And was, of course, sharing the stage earlier with Swerve Strickland. Tony Storm was in no condition to come up here. He's lost a lot of blood. And it was, I thought, a great moment for Swerve, who 1 year ago won the championship at Dynasty, to have that moment and have the crowd come back and do the Who's House, Swerve's House, which, to be fair, they didn't know they would see him again after what happened with Swerve and Ricochet. So it was a big reaction, and certainly the crowd got behind Swerve at the end too, which is never a surprise. The crowds, wherever we go, do get behind Swerve. So I thought start to finish, it was a great show, and certainly I thought really that would be a great main event. And I also thought, in particular, there were a lot of matches that could have been the main event tonight, including any of the last four. And that's why I really called it a big closing four, because I really felt like, okay, these final matches to say these are all going to be huge matches with massive significance. And knowing that we had, of course, the Hollywood ending, Kenny Omega returning his first pay-per-view match in AEW in over a year, his first time challenging for a championship in AEW in over a year, to have Kenny Omega Takeshita, to have then the steel cage match with Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, and that has also been a great story they've told. And they've been in different positions on the card as well, whether it was opening in Grand Slam Australia or Revolution, or excuse me, at World's End, and then in the semi-main position here at Revolution, and then to have, again, Mox and Cope, really four great matches, and they had been in that kind of crossover position at Grand Slam Australia, where I thought Tony and Mariah had that great main event on that great show. So I really felt like any of the final four matches could have stood out there as the main event. And in particular, knowing that Swerve is waiting in the wings. He's the #1 contender. We're heading into Dynasty, where our next pay-per-view, and that's where Swerve won the championship last year. And also I had a feeling the crowd would really get behind seeing Swerve at the end of the show. So, and knowing, especially after.
All right. Well, I mean, Tony Khan will go all night. He's had like 7 coffees. There's only 1,800 people watching now, so I wonder if it's coming to the end. But there's only 1,800 people that are still watching this.
After the #1 contender match earlier in the night, then I felt pretty good about how that came out.
Oh, it's over. That's why.
In a lot of ways, at least to me, maybe it's just me, but I feel like the time has flown by. And what's really exciting is there's so much more to look
I feel like the time has flown by as well.
forward to. I hope that I was able to answer at least most of your questions. And if I didn't, I hope to see all of you again very soon, and I can get a chance to answer your question. Please let these guys know if I didn't, and we'll try to get to you next time. And I hope to see some of you in Philadelphia at AEW Dynasty. Growing up, it meant a lot to me to do pro wrestling there. I actually, outside of my hometown, Champaign, Illinois, Philadelphia was the first other place, I guess technically the second place I ever saw a wrestling match. It means a lot to go there for the first AEW pay-per-view in Philadelphia Dynasty. And we're going to have big shoes to fill, because tonight was a great way to start the year. I thought it was a fantastic pay-per-view, continued a streak of great pay-per-views. Thank you all for coming here tonight and covering this. I really appreciate it. I hope you all get home safe. God bless you all, and thanks for covering AEW. Thanks, Renee.
Thank you, guys.
Drive me home, Tony. Drive me home. I don't know why somebody in their chat wrote, what a joke of a company. I mean, that's a crazy thing to say when there was such a good show tonight. AEW put on this was a good show tonight. Why would anybody be that negative? The only depressing thing is that it's 1:40 in the morning and everyone's tired and dead and asleep. The pay-per-view's got to end 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour earlier is the only complaint, really, other than, Moxley keeping the title. It's about it. Moan Monet. Oh, my God. Moan Monet. Let's hear what else I said earlier. It is cool, and that might end up being great and everything, but I still would have liked it if Christian had won, because I would have been like, that would have solidified this night for me. If he won right there, I would have been like, this was fucking brilliant. The booking was... I was so happy about the show. I was so happy about the show. Anyway, nobody jumped on Discord tonight because probably everybody's asleep. Nobody really called up, so I didn't hear from a single person that wanted to come on the show tonight to talk about this because I think everybody's dead asleep. So that being said, that's all I can say. I reviewed all the matches. I gave you my opinions on the show. I think it's an 8.5 out of 10. Let's listen to let's look at what you guys voted on the poll. See if you guys about the same. 55, 65, 66% of you said it was a thumbs up for sure. Everybody else thought it was blah or bad. I'm surprised this isn't more positive, to be honest. I can't believe it. This isn't like 30% amazing and 50% good and then the rest, but whatever. I'm a little shocked at how kind of low that is, but it was a great show tonight. I'm giving it an 8.5. The women crushed it. People fell asleep. It was a little too long. That's one of the only problems. If you guys want to support my channel, support my show, we could use you on Patreon. We have a few producers in the $25 and above spot. Love to have you at that spot. If you guys want to support me directly, you guys can use paypal.me/Joe Cronin Show. I normally wouldn't promote the donations so much, but since I lost my job recently and I can't seem to get unemployment yet, it's been a real problem. So I'm going to plug my donation stuff as much as I can. I'm sorry to do that. I know some people probably are not happy that I promote donations so much, and some people probably aren't happy that I'm pushing it so heavily, and I feel bad doing it, that I have to push it so hard, but I have no sponsors. I have no anything else, and it's really bad. And yeah, so I figure every 10, 15 minutes, it's worth it to try to promote that stuff. So I do apologize for it if it's annoying. Sorry about that. This is probably one of the tougher times in my life, and I feel like I have to promote it as much as I can. So I'm sorry. But I will be on tomorrow maybe at some point. I don't know. Maybe I'll definitely have some videos coming out tomorrow, and I'll have some shorts and videos, and I might stream. I don't know yet. I might take a break for a while and do some other things. I do have a lot of job related sort of things to try to work on tomorrow. We covered, I spent 8 hours covering this tonight, and it's not exactly, a great time in the world right now. So, I don't know how many more AEWs I'll do, but this was a good one. I'm glad that I saw this tonight. I almost didn't cover the show tonight because I thought it wouldn't really be worth it. And perhaps it wasn't worth it, but it was a really good show. So that was so good, man. This could have been a bad show, and that would have sucked if this was bad. But this was a show filled with 7s and 8s and a few 9s. Like awesome, just awesome that it was that good. This show got me, man. They did a good job. And I'm pretty happy that this show delivered. I can't believe there's people complaining that it was bad. I don't believe that. I mean, yeah, there was a few things or whatever, and certainly I didn't want Mox to retain, and I thought Christian cashing in or signing in was so good. I wish he won. That would have been really cool. That would have been cool as shit. Thanks for watching. Here's the ways you guys can support the show. PayPal.me/Joe Cronin Show, or the Streamlabs link in the chat above, or Venmo or Cash App, or become a patron on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show and listen to all the podcasts on there and all the stuff that we got for you there. And we didn't get any phone calls tonight. No one on Discord. Nobody wanted to be on the show, but I would have put people on the show tonight, but, nobody wanted to come on. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I'm Joe Cronin, and I'm an idiot. We'll see you.